What's up, YouTube? This is Victor on the Let Me Explain show, and today we'll be it's nice and sunny in California today. Today we'll be taking a look at this painting and just talking about where I'm at with it. And excuse me, just came out of COVID, by the way. So this painting gave me a hard time, and I did mention that in a previous video that it took me through the paces. But today, as I look at it and examine it, I feel that I've reached a point where I can let it go, and I'll explain why. The first thing is that it's 2024. Now, for those of you who've been following what's going on the cosmic level, we have solar flares which affect us in various ways, psychologically, physically, in all ways, right? So that's been going on, and I struggled this year. I struggled to produce paintings. In 2023, I produced over 50 paintings, and it was smooth flowing. They just kept flowing. But this year is really encapsulated in this painting. And why I say so is because this painting took a while to do. It took me through the bender. To be honest with you, it was one of the toughest paintings I've done to date. But when I look back at it, it's 2024. That's what the painting is about. It's about the trials and tribulations I'm facing in 2024. And when I look at the painting, I can begin to see what it's about. Sorry for the camera shake. Firstly, there's a lot of movement in it. You can see the white line carries you all the way through there, then comes to a stop. It's blocked off here by this black line, which also tries to carry on but comes to a stop. And when I look back into how my life has been going, there have been a lot of starts and stops, So that beautifully captures it. And I'm not saying all my paintings capture exactly what I'm going through, but this one in particular seems to do that pretty well. And when I look at it and try to figure it out, I always stop myself, because sometimes art is not about figuring it out. It's about what it is, what you see in it and what you make of it as a thing on its own. So it's a reminder for me that sometimes I won't know what the painting is about. Sometimes it's not for me. Different people will see different things in it, and I would love to hear what you see in it in the description below. So take a good look, and what I would say is your first impressions of it and what feeling it gives you. I would love to hear that. So in conclusion, I would say, firstly, this was a found canvas. I found it on the corner of the street, and I hate to see canvases that are in good shape, good physical shape, disposed of and leave them there. It's counterproductive for me to go and buy a canvas when I just saw one on the street that's in good shape and can be saved. But I want to mention something that goes a bit into the spiritual realm, and that's Runana Banda in India, or memory, right? Every object has memory, and obviously this canvas had the memory of the artist who started it, and it had all this texture. Let me zoom in. This texture right here already embedded in it. So when I got it, I had to work with that memory or previous work and try to make it my own. That was tough. And the fact that it was also disposed also gives it another layer of energy or memory that I had to work with. It was an unwanted piece of work that I'm trying to make desirable. So that's that with that. And I forget where I was going with that. But yeah, I think I encapsulated it. So the painting had a memory already. It had an imprint that I had to work around and work with. So this is not entirely my work per se. it's a community piece, and I don't know the previous artist. I don't know where they bought the canvas. I don't know the history of the canvas, besides the fact that it was on a street corner in good shape, and I decided to save it. But with that comes the lack of autonomy in terms of controlling the outcome of it, which is what we're facing now. It was a tough canvas to execute. It was a tough painting to bring to fruition, and but I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, this is 2024. This year is challenging for me. I'll be honest, and a lot of changes have happened in the year. A lot of fog, lack of clarity in terms of where things are going. So I think this painting captures it pretty well. Now you might ask yourself, what's the purpose of the painting? When it comes to the work I'm currently doing, I would say I'm not looking at a predetermined outcome as to what it will achieve in the end. The process is more important for me because if you've watched my previous videos, art is therapeutic for me. It helps me go through the day, it helps me sum up the day, it helps me start the day. So sometimes I start art pieces at 5 a.m. in the morning, sometimes I do art pieces at 9 p.m. before I go to bed. So that's the part art is playing in my life at the moment. And so would this go on somebody's wall? I don't know. I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you that is that it's a process of finding, saving, trying to create, trying to control, and then surrendering to the outcome and saying it is what it is. And it just fell. It is what it is indeed. And as you can see, it's a solid canvas. If you look at it, it's really a solid canvas. So that's what this piece served. It served me the journey of art, the beauty of creating, the grace in surrender. Because as I painted it subconsciously, I didn't have a predetermined idea before I started, which is something I'm abandoning for the next 10, 20 paintings or so. I want to pre-plan, have everything laid out before I paint, because I want to capture my childhood back in Zimbabwe. I want to capture the light, the energy, the shapes, the forms, the culture that I grew up in as something that I'll leave behind for my kids. So that's coming through. But in this instance, I went subconsciously, just went with the flow. Each stroke came out as it was. I looked at it, I worked with it after I made it to try to create something, but also counterbalance that with trying to just let it be a stream of consciousness, which is hard to do. Letting go and letting things just be is not as easy as it sounds. So this piece did its part. And as I look at it now, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty proud of the fact that it came to this after being on the street, ready to be disposed as garbage. All right, this is Victor on the Let Me Explain show. Thanks so much for watching.